All right, AEW World's End, the first ever AEW World's End, currently in the main event. It is about 20 till 12 right now, midnight, this Saturday, December 30th, 2023. Been watching this show off and on this evening. Hopefully, everyone had a Merry Christmas. We'll have a Happy New Year. But yeah, original plan was to watch this in full, along with the stream, with live watch along reactions. Of course, that didn't happen, but here we are, and so audio only. Real quick, just to wrap it up and give a recap of what's happened thus far as they're in the main event. So, I guess with that being said, thanks for tuning in and listening for what it's worth. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to social media. Links in the description below. Thumbs up button. Share. Hashtag AEW. Hashtag AEW World's End. Once again, the first ever World's End pay-per-view. They are in Long Island, the backyard of Maxwell Jacob Friedman, as he's defending his World Heavyweight Championship currently against the Samoan Submission Machine in Samoa Joe, with Adam Cole watching from ringside. Are we going to finally find out who the AEW Devil is the big question. As Hazmat Suit, Bryce Remsburg is your official referee for this matchup. But yeah, sure, like, subscribe, thumbs up. As I was saying, as AEW World's End continues, main event ongoing with MJF and Samoa Joe. I don't know when it would have cut out there with the buffer disconnect and reconnect. It does seem like YouTube is a little slow this evening for whatever reason. As you know, like I said, the original plan was to watch this in full. Been watching it on and off, but here we are. We'll get caught up on everything in a minute, but yeah, sort of dozed off after Penn State lost Peach Bowl to Ole Miss earlier, and then we just got done, as I was about to say, watching Monday Night Football on Saturday night with New Year's on Monday in the college football playoff, taking the reins. So from one scheduling conflict, not necessarily to another, but of course there's always a plan B. Because I thought about it, I'm like, well, yeah, because next week WWE has Day 1 Raw and New Year's Revolution SmackDown. Be sure to tune back in for those as well. That then I was just going to recap this show because, I mean, as of course the ref's going to get knocked out. You look at it on paper, there's not really much intrigue to it other than it, being the first ever World's End. Yeah, MJF still World Heavyweight Champion, of course, because it's better than you know it. There, Bebe with Adam Cole ringside. Yeah, ref just got knocked out. Samoa Joe fighting back though. But then, yeah, you have the Continental Classic, which Eddie Kingston won, defeating John Moxley. So, as the night, I should, real quick, and here we go. An F5. Yeah, F5 from MJF, so gonna be a 1-2-3 away from retaining his title, which he's going to tonight anyway. It's just, it's gonna get done. But so yeah, with all that being said, we move on and we'll see how the show ends. We'll give a recap here. momentarily have this on mute. Normally I do have the volume up, but I have it on mute. Crowd, they've been letting people hear it, to say the least. 1, 2, Samoa Joe kicks out. You know how pro wrestling fans are, crowd. They're gonna chant whatever's on their mind. And with some recent stories, who knows what to believe. MJF going to Adam Cole, and I think he wants the Dynamite Diamond ring. There you go. Okay. But then Samoa Joe from behind, having MJF now in a headlock. MJF gonna roll it up. 1, 2, kick out, but now Kukita clutch locked in. Let's see what happens here. I don't know if somebody was gonna come out or not. Like I said, though, damn well I'm just retaining. This matchup goes back to, as they're going to see if MJF is going to pass out. They're raising his hand, and about a 5-minute intermission because YouTube fucking sucks tonight. Lights just went out. What the hell's going on? Oh, shit, and Adam Cole's sitting in a chair as if he's the leader of the devil. Oh my God. And then a knee to MJF. Alright, we got a lot to talk about. That's for sure. Yeah. Adam Cole is the devil the whole entire time. Power bomb. So it's Adam Cole, the Kingdom, and Wardlow. And Cole takes out the devil mask and holds it in the air. Yeah, oh my God, that's right. Had it on mute. Definitely turn the volume up for this. Smug prick Adam Cole, says Excalibur on commentary. Because remember, the two masked men, they just won the ROH tag team titles as well. Of course, it's the Kingdom. How long have they been playing this? Well, how long has it been going on for TV for? A couple months now, right? There's the closing credits and the all rights reserved. You just had a lot happen as they fade to black. All right, where to begin? Well, first off, once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. As we've had some technical difficulties since I started, so sorry about that with buffers, get disconnects and reconnects. As really we've only been on a short time. Like I said earlier, the plan was today to watch this in its entirety from start to finish, and also stream it and do live watch along reactions live right here on YouTube. But of course, plans change. Always plan B. Been watching it on and off. Like I said from earlier, the Peach Bowl with Penn State losing to Ole Miss. Thanks to anybody and everybody who tuned in for that. Yeah, watch some more football this afternoon, but dozed off. And then we were watching Monday Night Football on a Saturday night with, the scheduling conflicts that are ongoing. it's just, there's a lot of shit going on. And a lot of shit just happened to close out World's End. Let me know, of course, what you thought of the ending. Because MJF just lost the world title, and then we find out who the AEW Devil is. So, no, but, yeah, of course, right as it was, getting good, YouTube being shit this evening, very, very slow as molasses in the wintertime. And, hey, is what it is. Out of my control in that regard. It's technology. It's good, but also sucks when you need to be good. And for whatever reason, it wouldn't get back up and running, and then it did. So here we are. But, at least we, get to see that, though, in live time. It was just perfect. The lights went out, and it came back on, and we're back up and running, and okay, there's your ending. There's going to be people pissed off, for sure. There's going to be people that, well, they'll say they saw this coming, bullshit. There's just going to be a lot of mixed reactions to it overall, I think. But then it's also going to get the world buzzing about, what the future looks like for, a few different people. So we're going to give a recap of World's End here shortly. I won't hit the reset button, no. So I'll begin as I normally do and just say thanks for tuning in and watching. Actually listening. Because that's what I was saying earlier, just a little bit ago. Yeah, what the hell, I might as well hop on and, of course, watch the ending. Because I've been watching it off and on, but, really, other than, that's what I said a minute ago, too, the question is, who's going to be the AEW Devil, and are they going to, unveil, do anything about it tonight? Then they do, okay, guess ends the year for AEW on a high note into 2024 now. You're seemingly going to get a feud coming out of this now, which should be stellar, to say the least. Be an understatement. But then, you have the title change right beforehand, and then, well, whether it makes sense or not, it is what it is. It does make sense, but it doesn't. It's one of those, alright, yeah, it just is what it is at the end of the day. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Thumbs up button, share, chat questions and comments, super chat, super sticker, super like, super thanks. Always get appreciated as well. Be sure to check out Rogue Energy, HopeKThrifts, and the novel written by Nathan D. Mitchell and Dead and Hungry as well. Links also in the description below. But AEW World's End just ended the year for All Elite Wrestling to close out 2023. And after about 13 months of being the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, because he's better than you and you know it, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, is now no longer the world champ. They say that MJF passed out, was submitted by Samoa Joe. So as he walked out with the title, they rang the bell, and here's your new World Heavyweight Champion. Samoa Joe wins, defeats MJF, and Samoa Joe's your new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. So we'll see where they go from here in that regard with him. That's the part to it that, okay, he deserves it for one, don't get me wrong, but with what was to come next, because it wasn't you know, as Adam Cole's ringside the whole entire match, that, remember, still on crutches, still in a walking boot because of his foot injury he suffered back at Grand Slam back in September a few months ago, you know, that he screwed over MJF or anything like that. As truly in AEW, it's been one of the biggest, you know, stories they've had this year, no doubt about it. I mean, yeah, you had the Dynamite Diamond Ring fiasco. Cole had trouble finding it. You could, you know, bring that up and say that, yeah. Because right afterwards is when Joe put MJF in a headlock, could have clutched then in the middle of the ring. He didn't tap out. The ref, Bryce Remsburg, hazmat suit, if you will. 1, 2, 3 on the arm being raised, and then the first 2 he dropped. The third one he dropped, but he was holding it as it hit his body. So, I mean, it didn't really drop the whole way, but still, they rang the bell, called for the announcement on with the title change. Got a winner, got a loser, of course, got a new champion, and then Samoa Joe walks out with the title. So Samoa Joe's your new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And then, of course, as MJF's wondering what the hell happened, because that's what I think everybody was thinking at that point in time. And in the meantime, on my end, some tech issues. So shout out to YouTube. Thanks a lot for that. This Saturday night now, it is officially midnight on the East Coast. New Year's Eve. So one more day in 2023 before 2024 rolls around. So once again, hopefully everyone had a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year as well. Happy holidays. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, it was truly okay. Wow, like, holy shit. Like, that seriously happened? Like, what the hell did just happen? And then, yeah, normally on my end, when I have an issue with a technical difficulty or two, buffer disconnect, reconnect, it does its thing and it comes right back on. Well, for whatever fucking reason, it took a couple minutes to come back on. So that's why I was saying, you know, I don't know if, as it was saying, it was live, if it was running or not. I said what I said. I doubt it got picked up by any means, but in the meantime, right as the lights went out in the arena, like, okay, something's happening, because they had Cole and MJF, you know, basically consoling one another, wondering what the hell just happened. And then you have the devil masked men circling the ring like they're the Nexus or the Dark Order, and then they get in the ring. They have a couple steel chairs. They from then, of course, the lights go out. Let's come back on. They're still there, but MJF's by himself. Adam Cole's then sitting in the chair as if, you know, of course, magical powers and, you know, was let go by these people. But truly it shows that he's the leader of this, whatever you want to call him, group, faction, devil worshippers, if you will, you know, as MJF would put it, as, you know, hey, remember, he returned, what was it, All Out, the night Punk won the title, and then later on was suspended, and then returned, and then was fired, and then back in the WWE, and now here we are. But yeah, the devil has arrived. One of those for MJF. So yeah, Cole's sitting in this chair. Remember, he's still hurt. At least so we think he is. He's still been on crutches. I mean, he could be selling it, but he's still in a walking boot. I mean, he broke his foot in a few different places, had surgery, and seemingly going to be on the shelf for, quite a while. That happened in September. A couple months later, he's still banged up, but he's still on TV. They continued this, as gone by, and making it must-watch TV once more. Just, making us sit on the edge of our seats, not knowing what the hell's going to happen. I mean, they've drug it out. That's what they even brought up. Like, how long has this been planned? How long has this been, in the works? And one, not knowing who the AEW Devil was, but then two, not knowing, who the extra people, whether they're men, women, were as well. We find out tonight. So I mean, next week on AEW TV, and in the weeks and months to come, their next pay-per-view will be Revolution in early March. That'll be Sting's, at this point in time, final match. He's going to retire. You know how pro wrestling is, though, in retirement. So, they got a couple months to, get Cole healthy and build up a potential Adam Cole MJF match at Revolution, potentially. I mean, of course, you'll, have Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. You'll technically have your, TV specials as well. But yeah, their next pay-per-view will be Revolution, unless they add in something, real quick here within the next 2 to 3 months or so, which doesn't seem likely at this point in time with everything to this point, pretty much booked. And so, yeah, I mean, they've been doing pay-per-views once a month the past few months. I think they're gonna not necessarily take a little bit of a break, but a back step and go back to the way it was, and until they really figure out, okay, once a month pay-per-views, they had a good thing going, why stop now? One be late January, February, okay, I get, WWE has, you're going to be up against the Super Bowl, potentially as well, early mid-February, and then you have Revolution. But yeah, it seems like their pay-per-view schedule now, it's going to be like from World's End at the end of the year. Of course, this was in Long Island, I might add, too. So MJF losing, and then what happened, afterwards with Adam Cole being revealed as the devil, and attacking MJF then to end the show. Yeah, that's going to piss a lot of people off. Talk about heel heat. I mean, that's the way to do it for sure. But be like Revolution, though, in March. They'll have, I don't know, maybe something in April, but at this rate, I highly doubt it. Never know, though. And then it's double or nothing. And then it's really like June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That's their once a month pay-per-views. Forbidden Door, to All In, to All Out, Wrestle Dream, Full Gear, World's End. Not necessarily still needing to space stuff out, but yeah, I get you gotta let some stuff breathe. It's just, yeah, overall, it's going to be interesting, big picture, because a lot of people are saying, well, with what's going on in AEW right now, that, you know, you know, they're dead, they're ruined, um, like, companies going under, blah, 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 blah. No, they're not. They're fine. You know, it's just not the way it has been, since the start. Um, like, they're in a transition phase of some change right now that, um, good or bad, whether you're approving or disliking it, it is what it is at the end of the day. I mean, they know we're still going to watch. Of course, you don't watch, then don't watch. But yeah, it's just, this will get people talking. This will get people tuning in for sure. There's always going to be haters bashing this or that, though. I mean, I'm not necessarily sticking up for anybody or anything in particular, but, just stating my opinion. Whatever has, so, your comments below. Once more, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to social media. Links in the description below. It's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram with the red subscribe button, notification button next to it, as well to stay up to date. Thumbs up button if you enjoyed AEW World's End. Like I said, I was watching it off and on this evening. There's about a total of 12, 13 matches from the kickoff pre-show, the 0 hour buy-in for his first ever World's End. That ends, on a high note to end the year as well. That's going to create buzz. It's pro wrestling, it's storytelling, folks. It's drama. It's of course, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's gonna be days and weeks and months. It's talk about building blocks. So you gotta let it just eventually, yeah, shit runs its course, but you just gotta let them do their thing. You do. But I was watching it off and on, and then on my end, at least, yeah, like I said earlier, plan was to watch this in full, but that didn't happen, let alone stream it from the start. But that's why I said, what the hell. I also hop on and catch tail end of it, stream it, do audio only, and hey, it'll work itself out. At least it's something, because it's, of course, is what I've decided on. The other thing was, I thought earlier, okay, just because of being pissed off and frustrated from earlier, once more, with what happened earlier in the day, ending the season with an L is what it is. Once again, thanks to anybody and everybody who tuned in and watched that. Thoughts and opinions throughout the entirety of that live stream. But remember, next week, really come Monday now, and on Friday, WWE will have a Day 1 Raw on New Year's and a New Year's Revolution on SmackDown. So be sure to tune back in live right here on YouTube for those live watch along reactions. And it was okay if I don't get around to watching World's End, let alone streaming it tonight, as I was originally planned on. I'll just give a recap, then. As for myself, sorting out, talk about transition phase from AEW being what it, once was, has been, to where they're going. Future's bright. There's always going to be haters once more. But for me, as it always is, this point in time of year, Football season's, going to be ending soon, and then it's, back full 100% into pro wrestling, as of course still watching pro wrestling, but it always takes a seat on the back burner there from, August, September, October, November, here in December, early January, February as well. Of course, on the road to WrestleMania before too long. But yeah, of course, just one thing to the next. Regardless, there's a lot going on. We're still keeping tabs and knowing, at least so we think, what's going to happen. As I said a minute ago, bullshit if you thought one, Samoa Joe was going to win the world title night, let alone two, they're going to unveil the devil, and then it was in fact Adam Cole, let alone you have the Kingdom along with Wardlow, basically as his henchman, if you will. So yeah. Am I missing somebody? Because it was Adam Cole in the chair, and then he was being held by two people, and then MJF was being held back by two people. There is somebody missing now. Who am I forgetting about? Because remember, then the lights went out, came back on, Cole sitting in the chair, and then the Devilmen, if you will, whatever you want to call them, we'll have to think of a name for them, or they'll come up with a name themselves. We'll figure it out on the AEW TV. But it's Adam Cole with the Kingdom. There's Wardlow. And then there's somebody else too, wasn't there? Who the hell am I forgetting? Let me know in the comments below. Shit. That's pissing me off. I'm going to have to look at the AEW roster and try to pinpoint on who the other masked man was. I am completely drawing a blank. I mean, it is what time? But, I mean, overall, AEW World's End, I mean, a decent show. Seems like people are going to have mixed reactions on the finish, no doubt about it. But it's going to get people talking. You didn't have one, oh my god moment, but two to end the show in a matter of, a few minutes. And that was, of course, Samoa Joe winning the World Heavyweight Championship, and then Adam Cole being unveiled as the AEW Devil, with the Devil Masked Men being, I know I'm forgetting somebody. Who the hell was it? You have the Kingdom, which is with Wardlow, who we haven't seen in quite a while. There's history there with him and MJF as well. Remember, it goes back, MJF winning the world title at Full Gear a little over a year ago, and now he's, for the first time since then, lost it. Wasn't clean 1, 2, 3, it was a submission. They say he passed out. So Samoa Joe's your new world champion. How long will that last? Who knows? Of course, congrats. No doubt about it, he deserves it. But yeah, I mean, you had the Punk potential story with MJF that they never did. because of the circumstances that surrounded the AEW the past year and a half or so. But remember, right before then, you had, MJF and Wardlow, and then now Wardlow's with, Cole as one of these devil worshippers. And then, the Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. Who the hell was the other guy? I know I'm forgetting somebody. I can see his fucking face, too. Somebody fill me in. I'm drawing a complete blank. It was Roddy, right? It was Roderick Strong. Yeah, that's right. No more neck brace. So, I mean, okay, you have a faction now with the 5 of them. As of course, MJF had the Pinnacle at one point in time. Thought, though, for a minute, as they, unveiled themselves, like, oh my God, holy shit, like, it's the Undisputed Era, it's the Undisputed Elite. Just knowing, Cole's history, you have, himself, and then, Red Dragon with Fish and O'Reilly. And Bobby Fish is, since left, no longer with the company. O'Reilly still injured on the shelf. As Cole's injured in the meantime, still playing all this out on TV though. But a big ending just overall to the show, let alone the year for AEW. I mean, this has been boiling for, a while now. It truly has. I mean, that's why I'm trying to remember. It's what Shivani had brought up on commentary, like, how long has this been planned once more? How long has this been in the works? I'm trying to remember the first time we would have saw, like, other than, of course, MJF returning as the Devil at AEW All Out about a year and a half ago now. The same night Punk won the title, and then stripped of it because it was suspended. But just within the past couple months, when was the first time we saw that AEW Devil backstage? That's my question, because I'm drawing a blank on that too. I'm forgetting. I feel like it was around from All In, Grand Slam, Wrestle Dream, somewhere, in between all that, maybe a little bit afterwards, and then you're, moving on into Full Gear. That's a lot of time to, kill up until New Year's now with World's End. And then it, coming to fruition, and, okay, you have MJF lose the world title, and then you have Adam Cole be revealed as the AEW Devil. As you remember, then he pulled the mask out of his leather jacket and held it up in the air, and then they threw it down on MJF. So, and that was the thing I mentioned a minute ago too, that, okay, it's not one but two things, like, yeah, Samoa Joe wins, but for this story now, with Adam Cole and MJF, obviously they're going to let it play out without the title on the line. Samoa Joe is going to end up defending the title against God knows who. I mean, you look at the roster, at least worthy candidates. I mean, they could have Eddie Kingston go after him because he just won the Continental Classic. For quite a while. Um, yeah. I mean, MJF's eventually going to get his rematch. Maybe he wins the title back. Because that's the other thing with all this now at the end of the year. And I know I remember saying, hey, when he first won the title, let him, hold it up into 2024. Well, here we are now, basically, because he's been bringing up, for a while now, the bidding war of 2024. Is he going to stay in AEW? Is he going to leave and go elsewhere, aka the WWE? Reportedly, he had re-signed with AEW, and then reportedly, that was false, and he's, on the current contract he's been on, and, when it runs out, then he's going to decide on, what he's doing then at that point. Whether he still re-signs or he leaves, who the hell knows? That's going to, with his loss tonight, that's going to definitely get people talking. But then it also, gives AEW, okay, Samoa Joe's going to be world champion. It's going to, it really puts you in a couple different directions to go in. Going to be defending that title against who knows who. And then you have, Adam Cole and MJF, squaring off one-on-one. Probably truly to determine who the true AEW devil is. Because remember, MJF was the devil when he returned, and now Adam Cole's been unveiled as the devil after these, past few months have gone by, and who knows if he was the original choice. I would, at this rate, probably think so. Because truly, who else could it have been? Yeah, a little interesting on how they did it, but, then you think about it, though, too, how else would you have done it, So, it works itself out. It, ended up being, to an A-OK, average pay-per-view, the first World's End for All Elite Wrestling, a good finish. That one way or another is going to piss people off. So, yeah, MJF was champion for a little over a year, but no longer the case because he lost. What's his future hold? We'll see. And, Joe's the world champion. Cole and MJF will be going at it. I'm trying to think what else there is. Of course, we're going to recap everything that thus happened here tonight at World's End. Because truly, you look at it on paper, there was really only maybe 2 or 3 good matches. There was. Of course, that included the main event, the question mark on the AEW Devil, just for the story, but the Continental Classic and the TNT title, which the latter of that was sort of a twofer with what happened on the pre-show, but yeah, I guess just overall, a good way to end the year for AEW, because they've been through a lot recently, and they're still moving forward. Like I said, once again, I'm not sticking up for anybody in particular or anything in particular, but once again, it's pro wrestling, folks, okay? It's storytelling. And you know. With that being said, it just, they got a good thing going with this. They do. Because remember, this all circles back to Adam Cole and MJF becoming tag team partners. You know, the Better Than You Baby duo. They're best friends, basically. The kangaroo kick, they became ROH World Tag Team Champions, boiling over, okay, how long is this going to play out? And then who's turning on who? You know? And then Cole gets hurt, and then it, not necessarily throws a wrench into the plans, but it extended it, and they kept it going, so you got to give them credit there, and then it, got us to this point on with the Devil. Obviously, that's, whether it was the original choice or not, it makes sense, for one way or another, because MJF was the original. Now you have Adam Cole, and it ties into with what they've done recently, and just everything in general. You look at it, it does make sense. So it's always just, with pro wrestling, going to be interesting, as I always say, to see where they go from here. And that's why we got to watch, because till then, we can think as much as we'd like something to happen. Who knows if it does? It'd be what it is. It is what it is at the end of the day. They're going to do what they want. But, this is a damn good story with Adam Cole and MJF. It truly is. It's probably the best thing they've had going for them in quite a while. You're probably going back to, of course, when the company started, and they were running hot, and I mean, they still are. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they've had their days, as we all have. As always, it could be better, one of those. But yeah, from then and until now, I mean, just interesting storytelling, throughout their now almost, what would it be? Because it was, remember, New Year's 2018 and the 19, when after the original All In, they went Double or Nothing, and then AEW was formed. So technically, they're going on 5 full years now as a company coming up here. Because it was August of 18, maybe that's September of 18, excuse me, with the initial All In. Yeah, you can't sell out a 10,000 seat arena. They did that in as many minutes. Yeah, and then it was New Year's 18 and 19. They went Double or Nothing. AEW was formed. They began on TV in the fall of 19, and yeah, so they're going on 5 years. Hard to believe. I know, time flies. Wonder what's being said during this press conference right now as well. With Tony Khan speaking, along with I would have to think Samoa Joe. I don't know if they'll have Cole or MJF at the podium, especially with how it happened. You'd want to keep that on TV. Of course, with what else happened tonight as well, I mean, there's always, of course, room to talk and things to discuss, but course, questions we asked as well. And I mentioned earlier, stories, out in the pro wrestling universe right now. Who knows what's true and what's not, and I'll leave it at that. If you know, you know. Of course, the Sex Gods tag team name at this rate is, however you want to put it, just overall a little, I don't even know if interesting would be the right word. I don't even think there would probably be a word to describe it right now. But who knows what's true and what's not, and you're innocent until proven guilty, and, cancel culture, out to get somebody and all that shit, just, yeah, who knows? But yeah, AEW going into the 5th year. I mean, yeah, no doubt about it. You got to have more than one thing, which they do, but they don't at times. It always circles back down to the booking. It's just not them. It's WWE. It's every pro wrestling company. Sometimes it's the same old, but you only have so much to work with, and like there's always gonna be repeats, but it's how do you reinvent? How do you do this differently than it was done before? Good or bad, just how do you do it different? Hopefully it's better. But yeah, from the AEW beginning until now, of course, thoughts and prayers to Kenny Omega, get well soon, as he was reportedly on death's door with diverticulitis, as Brock Lesnar once had as well, and he's pulling through. So hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he'll be back soon. But yeah, Tony Khan, I mean, he's got a big main event with his action figures right now, and Adam Cole MJF, to say the least. Joking aside, but they got a good story. There's been one of their best in quite some time. Just trying to think off the top of my head, and stories they've had that have captivated us fans, the audience, throughout their past few years. I'll have to get back to you on that one, because there's always opinions on this or that, agreements, disagreements. You might forget that this happened or that happened, and something might be ranked higher than the other, so I'll have to really think about that. But just right now, this, as it's been and still is and will continue to be, this Adam Cole MJF story right now on AEW is the best thing they got going. It truly is. So where does it play out from here now, after with what happened to end the show, with MJF losing the world title to Samoa Joe, and then Adam Cole being revealed as the devil and turning on MJF? Other than knowing, it's going to lead to a match. When? Probably at Revolution, I'd have to guess. So, unless Cole's still hurt and they got to play it out even more, Or then maybe because MJF's contract's up, they pass the torch from one devil to the next, and then who knows, maybe we never see MJF in AEW again. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily think that, but, who knows? I mean, hell froze over. Nobody thought CM Punk was going back to the WWE. Ever, let alone as quick as he did after he was fired by AEW, for God's sakes. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. There's not really much else to be said in that regard. So, I guess now results for World's End. Yeah, once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Plan was to watch it in full. Plans change. We got by, though. It worked itself out. I'm content. I'm happy. As always, could be better. But happy with where we are. And overall, could have been a better show, as always, as well. On paper, you look at it, truly, like I said, only like maybe 2 or 3 good matches. And then the question mark on who's the AEW devil and are they going to be revealed tonight? And, we'll find all that out for sure. At least they saved the best for last. Truly, they did. The few matches I'm talking about, they were, boom, 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 boom at the end. As the show began with the kickoff pre-show, the 0-hour buy-in. This is AEW World's End 2023, the first ever World's End for All Elite Wrestling. They're in Long Island, in MJF's backyard, and then he loses the title, where he had originally won it. I might add, a little over a year ago, so, come full circle. But Will Nightingale beat Chris Statlander, and Luchasaurus, kill switch if you will, won the 20-man Battle Royal for a future AEW TNT title match. Keep that in mind, okay? And then also had Hook retain his FTW title over Wheeler Yuta. Had an 8-man tag team match honoring the Briscoes as Mark teamed up with the Blackpool Combat Club of DB, Daniel Bryan, Brian Danielson, and Cesaro Claudio Castagnoli, as they defeated the team of Brody King, Jay Lethal, Jay White, and Roosh. Miro beat Andrade. We'll see what both their futures hold. The AW Women's World title was defended by Toni Storm. She defeated Rio 1-2-3 to retain. We were finally supposed to get Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana dancing around, but they finally announced it, and then Keith Lee injured. Like, what the hell? Like, why the hell did you even announce it if you knew he was hurt? They still ended up having the match, but Keith Lee was pulled from it. It wasn't him going up against Swerve, but it was his brother from another mother, and Cody Rhodes' legitimate half-brother and Goldust, Dustin Rhodes. And Swerve beat Dustin Goldust by pinfall as well. So, I mean, it puts it once again on the back burner with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland to potentially still have that match at some point in time down the line, as they've been trying to have the match for the past year, it's felt like. And then, yeah, the Sex Gods name right now, I mean, that just, with what's being said, who knows once again what's true. just makes you think. Of course, but yeah, you had Jericho and Sammy Guevara returning as they teamed up with Sting and Darby, defeating Ricky Starks, Big Cass, Little Bill's big brother and Big Bill, along with the Don Callis family, with Hobbs and Takeshita. Had Julia Hart retain her ABC, make it, no, not even CBS, Fox, or NBC, let alone CW, let alone TNT, or TLC, or any other channel out there. But Julia Hart, in a House Rules match, I might add, for her AEW TBS Women's Championship, she put that on the line and defeated Abaddon. And then this is when it got good. Remember from earlier, you had the 20-man Battle Royal for a future TNT title match. Luchasaurus, Killswitch won that. You had a matchup tonight, a rematch actually from a couple weeks ago. It was when they were in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. It was a special Tuesday or Thursday. I know it wasn't a Wednesday. AEW Dynamite, with a scheduling conflict of some sorts, a few weeks back, in which, as Edge, of course, debuted in AEW back in October at Wrestle Dream, Adam Copeland's All Elite, Christian Cage is being the TNT, champion for quite some time now. I mean, you really got to go back to the first episode of Collision. Remember, truly, Luchasaurus won that title, but Christian's been the champion. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But the heel he is, it works itself out. It makes perfect sense. Thought, okay, maybe, yeah, Edge was going to beat Christian for the TNT title a couple weeks back. Didn't happen. Christian retains. And then Cage put the title on the line tonight. No DQ match for the TNT title. And then Edge officially won. Adam Copeland was, in fact, your new AEW TNT champion. But then remember, Killswitch won the 20-man Battle Royal for a future AEW TNT title match earlier in the night. So, with that being said, Christian Cage basically stole another one from Luchasaurus, Killswitch, immediately invoking the title shot that was won by him earlier in the show. And then you have a rematch after a 30-minute banger between Edge and Christian. No DQ. I mean, anything and everything was used in this match. Gonna be a one to go back and see. Let alone just watch some highlights if you didn't catch it. But yeah, they stole the show. Arguably probably the best fucking match of the night, no doubt about it. But then, yeah, Christian immediately wanted a rematch. And then after a 30-minute banger, it was like 1, 2, 3 in as many seconds. And then Christian won the TNT title back from Edge. So they had a title change, but then they put it back on him. And Christian's still your AEW TNT champion at the end of the night. The championship to the Continental Classic featured Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley. The winner would receive the Ring of Honor World Championship, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight title, in which both were held by Eddie Kingston, but then also the new inaugural AEW Continental title, the CC, the Continental Championship for the Continental Classic, in which, they had a Blue League and a Gold League, from Bryan Danielson, Eddie Kingston, to Andrade, Claudio, Brody King, and Daniel Garcia, Jon Moxley, Swerve, Jay White, Roosh, Mark Briscoe, and Jay Lethal. You got Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley after all the points added up, and then you had a singles match and a triple threat to determine the final, and the final was tonight at World's End, and Eddie Kingston beat Jon Moxley to win the first ever Continental Classic. And then, as we hopped on to see the end to AEW World's End, it was the main event. MJF defending his AEW World Heavyweight Championship against Samoa Joe. Adam Cole was ringside. You had Samoa Joe officially wasn't 1, 2, 3 on a pin, but because of submission, because MJF passed out, Samoa Joe winning the AEW World Heavyweight Championship in the main event of World's End to close out 2023. So MJF loses, Samoa Joe wins, and then you have the lights go out. You have Adam Cole revealed as the AEW Devil, and then he turns on MJF to close the show. So that's AEW World's End in a nutshell. So let me know, of course, in the comments below what you thought. Once more, thanks for tuning in and listening. And in the meantime, that'll do it for myself, your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Quinn Luke 96 live right here on YouTube. Be sure to tune back in tomorrow for more live watch along reactions live here on YouTube as well, along with next year into the new year, technically on Monday and Friday for WWE Monday Night Raw and WWE Friday Night SmackDown for Day 1 of New Year's Revolution. So I'll have coverage of both those as well. AEW's next pay-per-view is going to be Revolution. We'll see if they have any TV specials in the meantime or not. WWE Rumble's in about a month or so. So just be sure to subscribe. Easiest way to stay up to date is on social media. Links once again in the description below. So yeah, that'll do it for AEW World's End. Once more, thanks for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below, and Happy New Year.